Your Daily 180, 180 seconds of pure Bible study.
We begin a study today of the Gospel of John. I hope that you'll be able to get your Bible out. If you're driving, of course, don't do that. But if you're at home and you have a moment, get your Bible out. We're going to dispense with who wrote the book, and we're going to assume that we can accept that the Apostle John wrote the book. If you need some information on that, I'll be happy to share that with you in the form of notes. And we're also going to dispense with the date because the bottom line, 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16, God is the ultimate writer of the book. It was inspired by God. And honestly, the date in the big picture of things doesn't really matter, and we could get into a big debate about that. But why was the book written? How do we ascertain that? John chapter 20, 30 and 31. John would write these words, "And truly Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in his name." That's what the book is about. It is about developing belief in an individual's life. It is a piece of direct evangelistic material. Now, it's really interesting as we look at the book of John, the Gospel of John, and 1 John. Now, the fourth Gospel, John, assumes the humanity of Jesus and sets forth to prove the deity of Jesus, prove that Jesus is God. Now, 1 John is really kind of cool because in 1 John, it assumes that he's God, but there's a question about his humanity. And so these two books are very interesting in their purpose. Now, I'll share this outline with you on Facebook, but it's from Merle Tenney, and he talks about this being a special gospel. It's a selective gospel. He didn't write down everything. These are written. It's an attested gospel in the presence of his disciples. It is an apologetic gospel. In other words, it is one that makes a defense for the gospel in the presence of these, that you may believe. And then it is an interpretive gospel that Jesus is the Christ, a definitive gospel, the Son of God, and an effective gospel that you may believe. Now, tomorrow, we're going to be talking about how this purpose is accomplished and how in the process we see the glory of God. Be reading the purpose statement, be reading the prologue, and join us again tomorrow for your Daily 180.